Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's close to being midweek here in Arkansas anyway. So, I just thought I'd get on, have a little midweek chat. Uh, I've already had a pot of coffee this morning, so I don't have coffee with me this morning. As you know, normally these are called coffee chats, but I did have a donut while ago. Anyway, I wanted to come on and talk about some things that are happening. As we know, across the nation in several states, not in every state, but in several states, there's been a push about voting laws changing, um, basically making it sounds like most of these bills, they're pretty much the same bill, but they're written with the name of the state involved and maybe some changes legally stuff to make it more towards that state's thing. But there's voting bills that are being pushed out there to change the way that voters, to make it. Sometimes it sounds like they're making it harder for people to early vote. In some states, they're removing the voting drop boxes, which were specific boxes for voting in. In other states, they're changing the time that you have to send in your absentee ballot, or early voting rules. And all of these affect people with disabilities in some way, form, or shape. Of course, you may say, well, early voting absentee isn't really accessible. For some people, it's not. I understand. By mail-in ballot, it's not accessible. But also for others, it's very accessible because a lot of times it's hard to get to these polling places, either transportation issues or accessibility issues, which should not be the case in almost 31 years past the signing of the ADA. And stuff like that. So sometimes people have had to use mail-in ballots or drop boxes just because of not being accessible. But also, the mail-in boxes or the drop boxes make voting easier for people to not have to take off a day, not have to go spend hours in line, lose time working, just because they have to vote. Now, some states are still doing early voting, such that, going to a specific place, using electronic box votes or drop box deals, but some states are trying to limit that aspect. And again, that makes it harder on people with disabilities, medical conditions, and stuff to go vote. I'm not saying that there's not reforms that need to be done, but any reforms that need to be done need to be able to make voting easier, not harder. Some people say, well, voting ID, makes it hard, puts limitations on people. I don't like the idea of having to show my photo and stuff because I shouldn't have to. I should just be able to show my voting card that shows that I'm a registered voter, that I'm allowed to vote, and that should be it. Now, if they want to do voting ID, maybe put someone's photo from their driver's license or other licenses on things. Let me put your comment up. If that's all right. Deal. I'll read that in a second. Put your voting licenses or driver from your driver's license or state ID card on checks if they want to, but don't make it where you know have where you have to go specifically. All I'm saying is that maybe can be other ways to identify people as a registered voter. Anyway, I'm going to read your comment, Stephanie. Kansas is trying to pass voting restrictions like limiting the number of advance ballots one person can turn in, limiting the voting hours. All of the restrictions limit participation for people who do not have the funds to take off work, drive, polling place, etc. That's exactly what I was saying. I think they're what we are talking about here, cookie cutter bills, meaning they're put out by an organization and a state legislature who wants to pick it up, usually a very staunch Republican who is far right. Let me put that up to Becky, who is far right and extreme right and not moderate, which is what we used to have. It's moderate Republicans. Yes, you may not like Republicans, but you know what? They're not all, they used to not be as bad as they are, but there's so many staunch Republicans still have their pardon. If you hear that noise, they're doing street work outside. And there's nobody, even if I shut the window, the noise would still be coming in. Anyway, let me read your comment too, Becky. I want voting via email as well. We have a car that isn't their driver's license. We have done mail ballots for a decade now. We love it. If they decide to make it tougher, we will be forced not to vote. And that is probably what these people are trying to do. Yeah, Stephanie, if we transfer funds via the internet safely, why can't there be a reason to vote safely? Anyway, that is what these people are trying to do, to make it harder and make people just say, forget it, I don't want to vote. But the problem is with that is, if you don't vote, they win. And of course, you may say, well, they win anyway. But they win by taking your voice away. If you vote, you're voicing your voice. Now I have a feeling we're going to have to start voicing our voice in person. And thankfully, as more people get vaccinated, it will be safer to go voice or do in person. I'm got my second vaccine, and I might just go down to the Capitol in about 3 or 4 days, or next week, because it'll be about 10, 11 days from the vaccine, and I might just show up and advocate if I'm okay by my director. Anyway, we need to start voicing our voice either by phone, by text, by showing up if we have to. We need to do something because they're winning. But you know what? They can't win if we show up. Yes, they may still win, but they can't win if we show them that we ain't gonna take it lying down. Anyway, I just want to come on for a little bit, talk. I know this has been longer than most videos, but y'all have been interacting today, so thank you. We need to possibly start doing some chats. I can do that through this platform. I can bring people on. Yeah, Stephanie, we will win the war. When that means going to court over it, showing up where they're at, showing up on their doorsteps. showing up where they own businesses or work. That can be done. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Y'all take care. Be good to one another. And maybe it's time for another cup of coffee.